Captain Daniel Brooks sat in his command chair on the bridge of the Frontier. The ship was moving through space between two star systems. Everything was quiet and normal. The crew was doing their usual work. Daniel was reading reports from their last planet scan when something unexpected happened. Lieutenant Karen Phillips was working at the communication station. She turned around with a worried look on her face. "Captain, we are getting a message on all channels. It is not using any of our systems. Our computers are trying to translate it right now. Where is the message coming from?" Daniel asked. He put down his tablet and sat up straight. Karen checked her screens. "I do not know. The signal is coming from many places at the same time. I have never seen anything like this before." Daniel felt something strange in his chest. He had this feeling before when meeting new alien species, but this time felt different. It felt more serious and maybe dangerous. "Show me the message," Daniel said. The main screen changed and showed an alien face. The alien looked a bit like a human, but was clearly different. Its skin changed colors like oil on water. It had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond shape on its face. Behind the alien, Daniel could see a huge room filled with many different kinds of aliens. "I am Counselor Vrath of the Galactic Sovereignty Council," the alien said. The words came through the speakers in perfect English. "We are talking to the species called humanity. We have been watching you for 42 of your years. We have seen your expansion into space. We have studied you and made our decision." Daniel leaned forward. His mind was racing with questions. First contact rules had taught him many things, but not this. The aliens had been watching Earth for more than 40 years without saying anything. "This is Captain Daniel Brooks of the exploration ship Frontier. I represent the United Earth Authority. We are happy to meet your civilization. This is not a friendly meeting, Captain Brooks. This is a command. The Galactic Sovereignty Council controls 4,317 civilizations in this part of space. All species that travel in space must follow our laws, our rules, and our authority. Humanity is not special. You must follow our rules too." Everyone on the bridge became very quiet. Engineer Marcus Stone turned from his station with wide eyes. Science Officer Patricia Cole stopped moving. Her pen was frozen in the air above her notepad. "Follow your rules," Daniel repeated. He kept his voice calm and steady. "Yes. You must stop all exploration that we do not approve. You must let us watch all your communications. You must accept our representatives. They will watch over your governments. You must pay us 15% of everything your planet makes. You must do everything we tell you without questions or delays." The alien stopped talking for a moment. All 4 of its eyes stared at Daniel. The look on its face might have been satisfaction or maybe contempt. "You have 72 hours to agree to everything we said. If you do not agree, we will punish you. We will stop trading with you. We will not share our technology. If necessary, we will use force. The Council has successfully brought species much more advanced than yours under our control. Do not think your recent technology makes you powerful. Compared to the galaxy, you are like children playing with matches." Daniel felt anger growing inside him. But he kept his face calm. Years of being a captain had taught him to stay composed, especially when facing something unknown. "I need to talk with my government first," Daniel said. "You can talk to anyone you want. The demand stays the same. 72 hours. We expect you to obey." The transmission ended suddenly. The bridge crew stared at the empty screen. Nobody knew what to say. Karen spoke first. "Sir, we need to contact Earth Command right now." Daniel nodded slowly. "Open a secure channel. Make it top priority." Then he stopped and looked at his crew. "Also, someone needs to find everything we know about galactic history and other species. If they watched us for 40 years, there must be some clue or sign that they were there." For the next several hours, the Frontier became very busy. Messages went back and forth between the ship and Earth at faster than light speed. Governments held emergency meetings. News about the alien demand spread across all human colonies. People were scared and angry at the same time. Daniel stood alone in his room. He looked out at the stars and thought about what humanity had fought for over many centuries. Freedom from tyrants. The right to rule themselves. The dream of exploring space on their own terms without anyone telling them what to do. Someone knocked on his door. Karen came in carrying a tablet full of information. "We found something," she said. "Strange mentions and data we got from alien traders we met before. They talked about a galactic government, but they seemed afraid to discuss it. We thought they were just being paranoid. Now we understand why." Daniel took the tablet and looked through the information. What else did you find? Every species we have met has the same level of technology. They have stable technology and peaceful societies, but no new inventions. No drive to improve or explore new things. I think we know the reason now. The Council does not want competition. They want servants who obey. A message from Earth Command arrived near the end of the first day. Daniel read it 3 times. He could hardly believe what he was reading. The message was clear. Try to buy more time, but start looking for ways to resist. Humanity would not give up without understanding exactly what they were facing. Daniel called his main officers to a meeting room. Marcus, Patricia, and Karen sat around the table. Their faces showed how serious the situation was. "We have our orders," Daniel said. "We are the first ones facing this problem. Whatever happens next starts with us." He looked at each person. "I need to know if you are with me. What we might face could be worse than anything humanity has ever dealt with before." Patricia spoke first. "My grandparents left Earth during the resource wars. They were looking for freedom in space. I did not come out here to give up that freedom to anyone." Marcus nodded. "I am an engineer. I solve problems. This is just another problem that needs a solution." Karen smiled, but her eyes were serious. "Sir, with respect, if you think anyone on this crew would give up when facing a challenge like this, then you do not understand humans very well." Daniel felt something settle in his chest. It was pride mixed with determination. "Then we will show the Galactic Council what humanity is really made of," he said. The second day started with Daniel standing in front of the communication equipment. He was getting ready to send a message that would change humanity's future in the galaxy. Behind him, his crew worked hard to learn everything they could about the Galactic Council. Earth Command had given clear orders. Buy more time, collect information. Most importantly, do not make them attack right away. But Daniel knew that his next words would be very important for all future talks. He turned on the transmission system. He used the same frequencies the Council had used to contact them. "Counselor Vrath, this is Captain Daniel Brooks. I talked with representatives of my species. We thought carefully about your demands." The alien face appeared on the screen very quickly. It seemed like they had been waiting. "I trust you are ready to say you will obey," the counselor said. "With respect, Counselor, we must say no to your demands. Humanity spent thousands of years fighting for the right to govern ourselves. We did not come to space to give up that right to anyone, no matter how powerful they say they are." The bridge became completely silent. Everyone knew this answer was coming, but hearing it said out loud made it real. The counselor's skin turned deep red. "You do not understand how big your mistake is. We control 4,000 civilizations. We control trade routes, technology, and resources. Your species is alone, primitive, and unimportant." Daniel kept his voice calm. "Maybe that is true. But we are also free, and we plan to stay that way." Another alien appeared on the screen. This one looked like a reptile with golden scales and vertical pupils. "This is Counselor Nexus, Captain Brooks. You speak with confidence. But do you understand what you are rejecting? We offer you technologies you cannot imagine. Medical advances that could eliminate all diseases. Energy systems that could power your worlds forever. All we ask for is cooperation, and 15% of everything our planet makes. And control of our communications, and watching over our governments. That is not cooperation, Counselor. That is slavery with nice words." A third alien joined the transmission. This one looked almost like it was made of light. Its skin was transparent and seemed to shimmer. "I am Ambassador Tresh of the Veiled Coalition. The captain makes a good point, colleagues. Maybe we have become too used to everyone obeying us. It has been a very long time since we met real resistance." Vrath's skin became an even darker red. "Ambassador, we do not debate with primitive species. We enforce our rules." Daniel saw an opportunity. "You call us primitive, but you watched us for 40 years. If we were truly unimportant, why watch us? Why worry about our expansion? Could it be that humanity represents something your council has forgotten? The right to rule ourselves? The courage to say no to tyrants?" Karen leaned close to Daniel and whispered quietly. "You are making them angry on purpose." He nodded slightly. "If we are going to resist, we should do it with style." Counselor Nexus spoke again. His tone was more careful now. "Captain, your passion is noted, but passion does not power starships. It does not protect worlds from weapons you cannot imagine. You speak of courage, but what good is courage against overwhelming force?" "Humanity has faced overwhelming force before," Daniel replied. "We survived ice ages without technology. We rebuilt civilizations after nuclear war. We terraformed Mars when everyone said it was impossible. We do not give up just because the odds are against us. We adapt, we create new ideas. We survive. Ambassador Tresh's shimmer grew brighter. Fascinating. Tell me, Captain, have you thought that other species might feel the way you do? That they too might want to get back their freedom? Wrath interrupted sharply. This talk is over. Captain Brooks, you rejected our generous offer. Now you must face the consequences. Economic sanctions will start immediately. We will refuse to share technology. And if you continue this foolishness, we will show you why 4,000 civilizations chose to cooperate. The transmission ended. But before it did, Daniel saw Ambassador Tresh looking at him with what might have been approval. Patricia looked up from her computer. Sir, we are seeing multiple ships entering the system. They are not telling us who they are, but their energy readings do not match anything in our files. How many ships? Daniel asked. 7 vessels. They are bigger than us, but not by too much. They are taking positions around our location. Marcus studied his engineering readings. They are not charging weapons yet. This looks more like a blockade than an attack. Daniel sat back in his command chair. His mind worked through different scenarios. They are testing us. They want to see if we will panic or back down. A new message arrived. This time it came on a private channel meant only for the frontier. When Karen opened it, Ambassador Tresh's face appeared. Captain Brooks, I am contacting you against Council rules. What you should know is that humanity is not the first species to resist. But you may be the first to do it well. The Council rules through fear and making everyone think they cannot win. Most species give up before they ever test the Council's real power. Why are you telling me this? Daniel asked. Because the Veiled Coalition was also conquered many centuries ago. We gave up because we thought we had no choice. But watching you fight back has reminded some of us what we lost. The Council is powerful, Captain, but they are not all powerful. They rely on obedience more than force. If you can show that fighting back is possible, you might inspire others. What happens if we fail? Then humanity becomes another name on the Council's long list of servant species. But if you succeed, you might change the galaxy. Choose your next actions carefully, Captain. More people are watching than you realize. The transmission ended. Daniel had more questions than answers now. Karen turned from her station. Sir, Earth Command wants a status update. They want to know our situation and what you think about the Council's abilities. Daniel stood and walked to the window. He watched the distant points of light that were the Council ships. Tell them we are in a standoff. The Council is more interested in scaring us than immediate violence, and tell them something else. We might have found possible allies among the very species the Council controls. He turned back to his crew. Get me everything you can find about the Veiled Coalition, and any other species that might question Council authority. If we are going to win this, we need to turn their own empire against them. The standoff continued. 7 Council ships stayed in position around the frontier. They did not attack and they did not leave. It was a test of nerves, and Daniel understood this. Every hour that passed without human submission made the Council look weaker to everyone watching. The standoff lasted 2 full days. 7 Council ships stayed around the frontier. They did not attack. They did not leave. It was a game of nerves, and Daniel knew it. Every hour that passed without human submission made the Council look weaker. On the 3rd day, everything changed, Karen announced from her station. Incoming transmission. It is Councillor Wrath again, and he looks very angry. The alien's face appeared on the main screen. His skin showed a pattern of dark reds and purples. Captain Brooks, your continued defiance has forced the Council to take stronger action. You will shut down your vessel and prepare to be boarded for inspection and enforcement. Daniel stayed seated. He tried to look calm even though he felt worried. Under what authority do you claim the right to board a human vessel? Under the authority of 4,000 civilizations and a military that has kept peace for 6 centuries. You will obey or you will be disabled and boarded by force. Karen looked at Daniel. Her hand moved near her tactical controls. Sir? He held up a hand, then spoke to Wrath again. Counselor, let me explain something about humans. We do not respond well to threats. In fact, threats make us more stubborn, not less. So I will make you a different offer. Pull back your ships and we will pull back ours. We will set up diplomatic channels to discuss this like civilized beings. Or you can try to take this ship by force and learn exactly how much trouble one human vessel can cause. Wrath's 4 eyes became narrow. You have 1 ship. We have 7. The math is simple. Daniel smiled. He hoped the expression worked across species. Counselor, if there is one thing humans are good at, it is making math lie. Lieutenant Phillips, bring weapons online. Mr. Stone, prepare the engines for emergency moves. The council ships started to move. They formed an attack pattern around the frontier. Patricia's voice sounded tense. They are charging weapons. Multiple target locks on us. Daniel's mind worked quickly through options. The frontier was not a warship. It was an exploration vessel with basic defenses. In a straight fight, they would lose. But humans had never been good at straight fights anyway. Karen, he said quietly, remember that gravity problem we mapped in this system last week? She looked at him. Understanding showed in her eyes. The one near the gas giant? Sir, that is extremely dangerous. Perfect. Mr. Stone set a course directly toward that problem. Maximum speed. Marcus turned pale. Captain, that gravity zone could tear us apart. The gravitational forces are huge, but our ship is smaller and moves better than theirs. If we can get through it and they cannot, we gain time and a better position. He turned on the ship-wide speakers. All crew, this is the captain. Lock down all stations and get ready for extreme moves. Things are about to get very interesting. The frontier shot forward. Its engines burned at full power. The council ships moved to stop them, but Daniel had guessed what they would do. The frontier dove under their firing angles, then turned hard toward the gas giant. Energy weapons lit up the space behind them. The shots missed the frontier by just a few meters as Marcus made the ship dodge in ways that pushed it to its limits. Patricia called out, "They are chasing us. All 7 ships are following us toward the gravity problem." Daniel watched the tactical display. "Good. Karen, I need you to figure out the exact moment when we can use the gas giant's gravity to swing around the problem. One mistake and we get pulled in and destroyed." "Working on it," she replied. Her fingers moved fast across her controls. "Captain, this is crazy. We have never tried a move like this before." "Neither have they. That is our advantage. Human pilots train for impossible situations. I am betting their pilots train for normal operations only." The frontier rushed toward the gas giant. The gravity problem grew larger on their sensors. It was an area where space twisted in dangerous ways. Most ships avoided it completely. Daniel was gambling that the council ships would hesitate where humans would not. Marcus gripped his control panel. "Gravity stress is increasing. Ship structure at 90% now." Karen shouted, "Do the slingshot move now." The frontier turned hard. It used the gas giant's huge gravity to whip around the dangerous zone. The ship made loud groaning sounds. Alarms screamed. For a terrifying moment, Daniel thought they had made a mistake in their calculations. Then they shot out the other side, speeding away from both the gravity problem and the chasing council ships. Behind them, the council ships tried to follow. But their larger vessels could not move as well as the frontier. 2 of the ships turned away, unable to handle the gravity stress. The other 5 kept coming, but they were falling behind. Patricia laughed with relief. "It worked. We actually made it through. Do not celebrate yet," Daniel warned. "They are still coming. And now they are really angry." "Karen, what is our condition?" "Shields at 70%. One of those shots hit us slightly. Engines are good. We have maybe a 30-minute lead if we keep this speed. Then we use those 30 minutes well." He opened a channel back to Earth. "Earth Command, this is Captain Brooks. We engaged council forces and survived our first battle. They are more careful than we expected, possibly because they have not fought a real war in centuries. I recommend we use that advantage." A new message arrived from Ambassador Tresh. "Captain, your move was watched by many species. Word is spreading that humans successfully avoided council enforcement. This has never happened before. Vrath is demanding your immediate destruction. But other counselors are starting to question if it is wise to fight a species that refuses to act the way they expect." "Will they back down?" Daniel asked. "No, but they may start to truly negotiate. You have proven that enforcement is not as simple as they believed. Keep surprising them, Captain. Every time you do, you make their claim of inevitable authority weaker." Daniel turned to his crew. "All right, everyone. They expect us to run toward human space, so we are going to do the opposite. Patricia, find me the nearest system with a council presence, preferably somewhere with other species who might be watching what happens next." Marcus stared at him. "Sir, you want to head toward them? If we run, we look scared. If we advance, we look confident. And confidence, my friend, is half the battle." He smiled. Besides, humans have always been good at turning defensive positions into chances to attack. The frontier came out of faster-than-light travel near Talaxis Prime. It was a major world controlled by the Galactic Council. Daniel had picked this place on purpose. If he wanted to make a statement, it needed to be somewhere important. The system was full of activity. Dozens of alien ships moved between stations in space and the planet below. When the frontier appeared suddenly, it created a big reaction. Karen reported from her station. "We are being contacted by at least 20 different ships, and everyone is scanning us. They all want to know what we are." "Good," Daniel said. "Open a general broadcast channel. Let everyone hear this." He stood up and straightened his uniform. Then he spoke to the whole system. "This is Captain Daniel Brooks of the human exploration vessel Frontier. We come in peace, but we come on our own terms. The Galactic Council demanded our submission. We said no. We are here to show that freedom is not negotiable and that authority must be earned, not demanded." Patricia watched her screens. "Sir, the Council ships that were chasing us just arrived. They are taking positions, but they are not attacking. I think they are waiting for orders." Counselor Vrath's face appeared on the screen. His skin was nearly black with anger. "You dare to enter a Council Core world? Your arrogance will destroy you, human." "It is not arrogance, Counselor. It is principle." Daniel kept his voice steady. "You claim authority over thousands of species. But what have you given them? Security, prosperity, or just the absence of conflict born from fear of your power?" Other faces started appearing on split screens. Representatives from different species were drawn to the confrontation. Daniel recognized Ambassador Tresh among them, along with Counselor Nexus and several others he did not know. An insect-like being with many legs spoke up. "I am Delegate Crix of the Chitauri Hives. Human Captain, you speak of freedom, but you do not understand the chaos that came before the Council." "We chose order over anarchy. Did you choose?" Daniel asked. "Or were you given an ultimatum just like we were? Were you told that obedience was inevitable and resistance was futile? Because from where I stand, the Council's peace looks exactly like submission." Tresh's shimmer grew brighter. "The Captain makes a good point. When was the last time any species was given a real choice about Council membership? When was the last time we debated policy instead of just enforcing it?" Vrath turned on Tresh. "Ambassador, your continued undermining of Council authority is noted. This human has poisoned your judgment." "No," Tresh replied quietly. "This human has reminded me what we lost when we gave up our freedom. The Veiled Coalition was once a proud civilization. We explored. We created. We dreamed. Now we just administer. We regulate. We enforce. When did we stop being explorers and become just workers?" More voices joined the debate. Some supported the Council's authority. Others, encouraged by Tresh's words, started questioning it openly. The transmission became chaotic as years of hidden disagreement came to the surface. Karen leaned toward Daniel. "Sir, we are picking up secret messages between several non-Council ships. It looks like some species are starting to talk independently of official channels." Counselor Nexus raised his voice above the others. "Enough. This is exactly the chaos the Council was created to prevent. Captain Brooks, your words sound good, but they ignore reality. The galaxy needs order. Without the Council, species will go back to war and competition." "Maybe," Daniel agreed. "Or maybe species will learn to work together as equals instead of as master and servant. Humans have a saying, those who give up freedom for security deserve neither. The Council offers security at the price of freedom. We reject that deal. Then you condemn your species to isolation and eventual destruction," Vrath said coldly. "Or we inspire others to take back what they lost. That is what scares you, right, Counselor? Not that humanity will resist, but that our resistance will spread. That other species will realize the Emperor has no clothes." Patricia suddenly spoke from her station. "Captain, I am detecting a huge energy buildup on the Council flagship. I think they are getting ready to fire." Daniel felt his heart beat faster, but he kept his face calm. "Vrath, if you fire on us in front of all these witnesses, you prove everything I said. You show that the Council rules through violence, not agreement. Is that really the message you want to send?" The Counselor's 4 eyes blazed with anger, but he did not give the order to fire. The moment stretched out, tense and fragile. Finally, Nexus spoke. "Stand down, Vrath. The human is correct. We cannot look like tyrants, not when so many are watching." He turned to Daniel. "Captain Brooks, the Council will meet to discuss your status. You will stay in this system and wait for our decision. With respect, Counselor, we take orders from Earth, not from you. However, we will stay here as a sign of good faith. We are not looking for conflict. We are looking for recognition that humanity has the right to choose its own path." The transmission ended. The bridge crew sat in shocked silence. "Did we just win?" Marcus asked. "No," Daniel replied. "But we did not lose. And sometimes that is enough." He looked at the screen, which now showed dozens of alien ships around them. "Patricia, watch all transmissions. I want to know what every species in this system is saying about what just happened." Over the next several hours, reports came in. The confrontation had been broadcast across many systems. Reactions were very different. Some species praised the Council's restraint. Others questioned why restraint had been necessary at all. And a growing number started openly discussing if they too might benefit from taking back their independence. Ambassador Tresh contacted them again through a secure channel. "Captain, what you did today will have effects far beyond your immediate situation. The Council is in an emergency meeting. Vrath wants you destroyed immediately, but he is losing support. Too many counselors see that your defiance has shown basic weaknesses in our system." "What happens now?" Daniel asked. "Now you wait, and hope that enough counselors value stability over pride. But I must warn you, even if the Council backs down, this is far from over. You have started something that cannot be easily stopped. Other species will follow your example. The galaxy is about to change, and change is always dangerous." Daniel smiled, but his eyes were serious. "Good. A galaxy ruled by fear and obedience needed to change. If humanity sparked that change, then we will have done something worthwhile." The Council's emergency meeting lasted 3 full days. During that time, the frontier stayed at Talaxis Prime. They were surrounded by ships from dozens of species. Some were clearly hostile. Others seemed curious. A few even sent secret messages of support. Daniel spent those days preparing for every possible result. If the Council decided to destroy them, he wanted humanity's last message to be one of defiance. If they decided to negotiate, he needed to be ready to propose terms that protected not just human interests, but the interests of any species seeking freedom. On the evening of the 3rd day, Karen noticed unusual activity on the Council flagship. Many groups were arriving and leaving. Energy readings suggested heated arguments were happening behind closed doors. Then, just before midnight by human time, a transmission arrived. But it was not from Counselor Vrath or Nexus. It was from Ambassador Tresh. "Captain Brooks, the Council has reached a decision. It is not what Vrath wanted, but it is not complete victory for you either. They agreed to a compromise that I helped create. You should prepare yourself. This transmission will go live to the entire system in 5 minutes." Daniel gathered his crew on the bridge. "Whatever happens next," he said, "remember that we stood up for what we believed in. That is worth something, no matter what the result is." The main screen turned on, showing a chamber filled with alien representatives. Counselor Nexus stood at the center. His reptilian features were set in an expression Daniel could not read. "The Galactic Sovereignty Council has discussed the matter of humanity," Nexus began. "Your defiance has been noted. Your arguments have been heard. After extensive debate, we have reached a decision that represents a new approach to relationships between species." He paused. Daniel felt his heart beat faster. Humanity will not be required to submit to Council authority in the way we first demanded. Instead, we propose a new classification: Associated Independent Species. You will keep your freedom and self-governance. You will not pay tribute or accept oversight. However, you will be expected to respect established trade routes and diplomatic rules. You will have the chance to participate in Council discussions as observers and eventually, as voting members if you choose. Marcus whispered. They backed down. They actually backed down, but Nexus was not finished. Furthermore, any other species wanting to renegotiate their relationship with the Council may ask for similar status. We acknowledge that our previous policies may have been too strict. The galaxy has room for different approaches to cooperation and living together. The chamber erupted with noise. Delegates argued, celebrated, or sat in shocked silence depending on what they believed. Vrath's face appeared on a side screen. His skin showed barely controlled anger. "This is madness," he said. "We have maintained order for 600 years. Now we throw it away to please one stubborn species?" "No," Tresh replied, stepping forward. "We adapt, we evolve. Just as humanity has shown us that strict control is not the only path to stability. The Council was created to prevent chaos, not to impose tyranny. If we have lost sight of that difference, then humanity has done us a service by reminding us. Nexus raised a hand for silence. Captain Brooks, do you accept these terms on behalf of humanity? Daniel stood. He knew his next words would shape human-alien relations for generations. Counselor Nexus, I accept these terms as a foundation for discussion, but I must talk with Earth government before making any binding agreements. However, I can say this. Humanity came to the stars looking for friendship and cooperation, not domination or submission. If the Council is willing to treat us as equals, then we are willing to explore what that partnership might look like. He paused, then added, and I encourage any other species seeking similar recognition to make your voices heard. Freedom is not a privilege given by the powerful. It is a right that belongs to all thinking beings. The transmission ended, but its effects spread across the galaxy. Within days, 17 species formally asked for associated independent status. Within weeks, that number had grown to 43. The Council, faced with the possibility of their entire empire falling apart, had no choice but to honor their promise. The frontier stayed at Talaxis Prime for another month. They served as a symbol of what courage and principle could achieve. Daniel met with groups from dozens of species. Many wanted to learn more about humanity and our strange insistence on ruling ourselves. One evening, as the crew prepared for their trip back to human space, Ambassador Tresh visited the ship in person. It was the first time Daniel had seen the ambassador outside of transmissions. In physical presence, Tresh was even more unusual, seeming to exist partly in dimensions humans could not fully see. You have changed the galaxy, Captain, Tresh said. Not through conquest or better technology, but through the simple act of saying no. Do you understand how rare that is? Daniel smiled. Humanity has always been good at being difficult. It is one of our better qualities. Tresh's shimmer moved in what might have been amusement. The Council will never be the same. Already there are discussions of reforms, of rebuilding, of finding new ways to organize relationships between species. Vrath has resigned in protest. Others are calling for a complete rewriting of Council rules. Is that good or bad? Daniel asked. It is uncertain. Change always is, but staying the same was killing us slowly. At least now we have the chance to build something better. The ambassador paused. What will humanity do now? You have won your freedom. How will you use it? Daniel looked out the window at the stars beyond. We will do what we have always done, explore, learn, grow, and help others who want to do the same. We did not come to the stars to be conquerors or servants. We came to be partners in the grand adventure of existence. Tresh bowed in a gesture that seemed to involve more dimensions than Daniel could fully see. Then I look forward to seeing what adventures humanity creates, and perhaps in time the Veiled Coalition will join you in taking back what we lost. After Tresh left, Daniel called his senior staff together one last time before departure. We did it, Karen said. She still sounded slightly amazed. We actually changed galactic politics. Patricia laughed. Earth Command is never going to believe our reports. Marcus shook his head. We went from being threatened with destruction to being the spark for galactic reform. That is one for the history books. Daniel smiled at his crew. We were just doing our jobs. Standing up for what we believe in. Refusing to give in to intimidation. Apparently that is revolutionary in this galaxy. Maybe it is time someone reminded everyone that freedom is worth fighting for. He turned on the ship-wide speakers. All crew, this is the captain. We are heading home, but I want you all to know that what we did here was not the work of one person, or even one crew. It was the work of a species that refuses to be defined by others. Every human who ever stood up to tyranny, whoever said no to injustice, whoever chose freedom over safety, contributed to this moment. Be proud of what we represent. And get ready, because I have a feeling our exploration days are about to get a lot more interesting. The frontier left Talaxis Prime to cheers from dozens of species. As they jumped to faster-than-light speed, heading back toward human space, Daniel sat in his command chair and thought about everything that had happened. The journey home took 2 weeks. During that time, reports kept coming in from across the galaxy. The Council's decision had created ripples that were turning into waves. More species were asking for independent status every day. Some Council members were resigning. Others were calling for complete restructuring of how the Council worked. Karen came to Daniel's ready room one evening with a tablet full of news. Sir, you need to see this. The Veiled Coalition just announced they are requesting full independence from the Council. They cited humanity as their inspiration. Daniel read the statement. Ambassador Tresh had written it personally. The words spoke of dignity, self-determination, and the right of all species to choose their own destiny. How is the Council responding? Daniel asked. They are in chaos. Some counselors are trying to hold the Empire together. Others are accepting that things must change. And a few, including Counselor Nexus, are proposing a complete transformation. Instead of the Galactic Sovereignty Council, they want to create the Galactic Cooperation Forum, a place where species meet as equals. Daniel smiled. We really did start a revolution. When the frontier finally reached human space, they were greeted like heroes. Ships from Earth and the colonies formed an honor guard. Messages of congratulations flooded their communications. The crew had left as explorers. They were returning as the spark that changed galactic history. Earth Command ordered them to dock at the orbital station above Earth. Daniel and his senior staff were taken to the surface for a formal debriefing. The meeting room was filled with government officials, military leaders, and scientists. Everyone wanted to hear the story firsthand. Admiral Helen Carter, the head of Earth Command, sat at the center of the long table. Captain Brooks, what you and your crew accomplished is nothing short of remarkable. You faced an empire of 4,000 civilizations and made them blink first. Can you explain how you made the decisions you did? Daniel thought for a moment. Admiral, I just applied human history to the situation. Throughout our past, we have seen empires that ruled through fear. They all looked invincible until someone had the courage to say no. The Council was the same. They had power, but their power was based on everyone believing resistance was impossible. Once we showed it was possible, their authority started to crumble. But you took enormous risks, another official said. You could have gotten your crew killed. You could have started a war humanity might not win. Daniel nodded. Yes, but some things are worth the risk. Freedom is one of them. If we had submitted out of fear, we would have lost something essential to what makes us human. Better to stand and face the consequences than to bow and lose ourselves. The debriefing lasted several days. Daniel and his crew answered hundreds of questions. They provided detailed reports on Council technology, their military tactics, and the political divisions within the Council itself. All of it would help humanity navigate this new galactic landscape. On the final day, Admiral Carter pulled Daniel aside for a private conversation. They walked through a garden on the station, looking down at Earth below. You know what you have done changes everything, the Admiral said. We can never go back to being just explorers now. We are players in galactic politics whether we want to be or not. I know, Daniel replied, but maybe that is not a bad thing. If we can help other species find their freedom, if we can turn an empire into a true community of equals, then maybe humanity's role in the galaxy is worth the complications. The Admiral smiled. You sound like a diplomat now, not just a ship captain. We are going to need people like you in the years ahead. The United Earth Authority is creating a new division, Interstellar Relations. They want you to head it, Daniel was surprised. What about the frontier? What about exploration? The frontier will become the flagship of the new division. You will still explore, but now you will also build relationships, negotiate treaties, and help species that want to break free from oppression. You started this, Daniel. Now you get to see it through. He thought about it for only a moment before nodding. I accept, but my crew comes with me. They deserve to be part of this, already arranged. The Admiral handed him a data pad. These are your first assignments. 3 species have requested human assistance in negotiating their own independence. Ambassador Tresh wants to meet with you to discuss formal alliance between humanity and the Veiled Coalition. And the Reformed Council, now calling itself the Galactic Forum, wants Earth to send representatives to their founding session. Daniel looked at the list and felt both excitement and responsibility. This was bigger than he had imagined, but it was also exactly what humanity had come to space to do. Not to conquer or to hide, but to engage with the universe as equals and help others do the same. 2 months later, the frontier departed Earth again. The crew was the same, but their mission had expanded. They were still explorers, but now they were also ambassadors of freedom. Their first stop was the Veiled Coalition homeworld. Ambassador Tresh greeted them personally. The meeting took place in a beautiful chamber that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. Captain Brooks, Tresh said. Or should I say Ambassador Brooks now? You have given my people something we thought was lost. Forever. Hope, the veiled coalition, is free for the first time in 5 centuries because you had the courage to say no when everyone else said yes. Daniel shook his head. You gave yourselves freedom. We just showed it was possible. The courage was always there. It just needed a spark. Then let us make sure that spark becomes a fire, Tresh replied. Together, humanity and the Veiled Coalition can help other species find their way. We can build a galaxy based on cooperation, not domination. They spent the next week negotiating a formal alliance. It was the first treaty between humanity and another major galactic power. When they finished, both sides felt they had gained a true partner. As the Frontier prepared to leave for their next assignment, Daniel stood on the bridge and looked at his crew. They had been through so much together. They had faced an empire and won not through violence but through principle. Karen looked over from her station. Where to next, sir? Daniel checked his orders. The Chitauri hives. They are questioning whether they want to remain in the old council structure. They have asked for human advisors. Marcus smiled. From defying an empire to helping rebuild galactic civilization. Not bad for an exploration crew, Patricia added. My grandparents would be proud. They left Earth looking for freedom. Now we are helping entire civilizations find theirs. Daniel sat in his command chair and gave the order. Take us out. We have work to do. The Frontier jumped to faster than light speed. Behind them, the Veiled Coalition celebrated their newfound freedom. Ahead of them, countless species waited for the chance to reclaim their own. The galaxy had demanded that Earth submit. Instead, humanity had smiled and said they would follow their own laws. That simple act of defiance had changed everything. The age of the Galactic Sovereignty Council was over. The age of cooperation and freedom had begun, and at the center of it all was a human captain and his crew who had refused to bow. They had shown the galaxy something it had forgotten. That courage matters, that principles matter, that sometimes saying no is the most powerful thing you can do, and the galaxy would never be the same again.